Chapter 1. Calculating payments, paying off a debt. Let's take a real life situation. Let's suppose you want to buy a $22,000 new car and are offered a 2.3% APR. I said before, don't ever put your car on a credit card. Their car dealers are trying to get rid of cars. They always have too many cars. They can offer really good rates. And the rates on new cars are better than the rates on used cars because, well, they want to sell new cars. So you get a 2.3% APR offer. Now here's the question. What is the difference between a 4-year loan and a 5-year loan? Well, what have we got so far? We've got our formula is P equals RA over 1 plus R to the minus YN. We're talking about debt minus 1. And don't forget, you have to subtract that minus 1 to be part of the whole denominator. What have we got? Our amount, we're going to start with $22,000 of debt. It's negative money. When you're like, ooh, I've got a $22,000 car loan, your friend doesn't say, let's go out to eat, let's start blowing it. No, you've already spent it. It's monthly. I didn't say that, but car payments are always monthly payments. You might get some sort of weird quarterly thing, but no, it's monthly. So the rate of interest is 0.023, that's 2.3%, and you don't have to pay that every month. You only have to pay a 1/12 of that every month. Pretty nice. And then we're going to look at the difference between y. Let's start with y equals 4. If y equals 4, then what we have is 0.023 over 12 times negative 22,000 divided by 1 plus 0.023 over 12 to the negative y. Okay, n is 12. I can multiply 4 times 12. 4 times 12 is 48 minus 1. So what does this do? Let's break out the calculator. Please tell me in class if this calculator, if you want me to zoom in on it again. I think it's kind of nice to be able to see the calculator and the formula at the same time. That numerator is 0.023 divided by 12 equals times 22,123 negative is negative 42.16666666666. So that is negative 42.1666666. Let's get lots of digits. I know I said 4 significant digits before. I think I want more than that. And the denominator. I know it seems weird. People want to start left to right. You can type this all in with parentheses if you want. If you're calculating, well, why not? I'll show you how you do it with parentheses. Down below we have parentheses. Clear this whole thing out. Clear. Parenthesis 1 plus 0.023 divided by 12, close parentheses, raised up to the 48 negative power is, and then we subtract 1 and we get 0.08, okay, 878,145. Negative 0.0878145. Was that right? That was right. Okay. And so now, here's a trick. Here's a trick that I love. I love on my calculator the 1 over x button. I want that number to be in the bottom. If I push that 1 over x button, it becomes in the bottom, and then all I have to do is multiply the negative 42.1666666. I love this thing because then I don't have to type anything over again. 1 over x times 42.16666666666 negative is $480. $480. Do we have some change? And 18 cents. And yes, they will ask you for the pennies every month. They are that kind of people. So, for less than $500 a month, you could get a brand new car. That's not bad. I mean, $500 a month is a lot of people's rent, but a lot of people spend more money on their cars than on their rent. A lot of people's cars are nicer than their apartments. Whatever. Okay, hey, but if you pay it off in 5 years, you will be even less. Because watch this. Now let's do the same thing, but use y equals n. So P in this case is going to be 0.023 over 12 times negative 22,000. Hey, it's the exact same thing. The only difference is that we have 1 plus 0.023 over 12, and this is 12 times 5. 12 times 5 is 60. Negative 60, negative 1. So it's the same negative 42.1666666, whatever, all over something. What is that something? That something is... Oh, you know, I just... This is the way I usually like to do it. You do the division, then you do the addition, you say equals, you do the exponent, you say equals, then you subtract the 1. 0.023 divided by 12 equals, plus 1 equals, raised up to the 60 negative power equals, minus 1 is, now my denominator is negative 0.1085, blah, 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 or I just say 1 over that. Now that is in the denominator. All I have to do is multiply by the 42.16666666666 negative, and I get $388.50. $388.50, and I apologize for not writing that thing down. It was negative 0.1 and stuff. Now, a lot of people would say, if I had to choose between paying $500 a month and $400 a month, that's pretty easy to figure out. But here is the one caveat. If you pay it off in 4 years, you make 4 times 12 equals 48 payments. And 48 payments of $480.18 is 48 times 480.18, which is 48 times 480.18. That's not 480.18. 480.18 is 2348.64. 2348.64. In 5 years, you pay a total of, what, 5 times 12 times 388.50, which is 5 times 12 times 388.5, which is 23,310. 23,310. These are pretty close. Hey, here's the thing. What it means is, if you get the 4-year car loan, you pay $23,048.64 for a $22,000 car. You end up paying $1,000 and almost $50 more than the cost of the car. But if you didn't have it would be better to just pay $22,000 in cash. It would be lovely to have $22,000 in cash in your pocket. What's that? You don't have $22,000 in cash in your pocket? Hey, I don't either. That's why it's so lovely to pay $480 a month instead. If you want to pay lower car payments, you are going to end up paying, how much more is this? This number is less than $300 more. Less than $300 more. So, yes, you know, if you pay it off in 5 years, you pay $300 more in the long run. But a lot of people can swing $388 a month a whole lot easier than they can swing $480 a month. So there's this give and take. The longer it takes you to pay off a loan, the more the interest is biting you in the butt, the worse things are. Now, part of this is a 2.3% interest rate, which I just looked up. Apparently that's what they're offering in Massachusetts these days. That's pretty lovely. That's really, really great. Why is it so low? Again, because nobody can get 2%. Nobody can get 3% interest these days. And so even the banks are willing to take really small amounts of interest. Now, the downside of this, you probably have to have great credit. They probably aren't going to give a $22,000 loan to someone who doesn't have good credit. But they seem to like to give loans to college students. The odds are you're going to graduate, you're going to get a good job. They want you to start owing them money now. Now, anyway, that's probably enough for this video. This is how it works. Here is the formula. Remember that if it's paying off a loan, you have that little tiny negative in there, and you just need to know how to plug things into a calculator. And I swear, 95%, 99% of the math that you're ever going to do in your life is taking a formula and plugging information in. And if you know enough to convert percentages into decimals, if you know enough about invisible parentheses, if you know enough about how to be careful and write your work out and get the right answer the first time, that's almost all the math you're ever going to do in your life. In real life, they give you 5 minutes to calculate the payments that you're going to be making for the next 5 years of your life. In real life, you've got a few minutes. In real life, you get to use a calculator. In real life, you can look up the formula. But this is really cool, and it helps you know if some car dealer is ripping you off and charging you too much. Maybe there's a fee. Maybe they're going to put $20 a month onto that just for the car dealer wants mustache wax fee or something like that. It would be pretty lovely if you go in with a calculator, a couple formulas, and some paper, and you double check to make sure that they're not ripping you off. Because if you're like, hey, where's the extra $20? And they're like, oh yeah, the mustache fee. You're like, I'm going to go to a different car dealer. I know they don't all charge the mustache fee. So now another video.